In my last video around the fear of power, I invited you as the listener to really do a thought experiment on what would it be like to wake up in the morning and know that you could read people's minds. And I asked you to go into the shadow sides of that, the parts of you that you don't want to admit to, that would use it for world domination, to get as much sex, money, power, and whatever as you could. But let's flip that experiment around now. Let's imagine you woke up tomorrow morning and again you've got this superpower of being able to read people's minds. How could you use it for good? What would you do with that power if it was clean? And think it through. Actually take a moment to actually drop into that and think, okay, well, if I really was clean and I really had the highest interest of everyone in my heart and in my mind, how would I use that power? Again, a lot of people can't answer that question because we're so afraid of facing power. We're so afraid of the shadow elements, the evil aspects of power, the way it might contort us and twist us in the Darth Vader move. But if you were able to actually integrate all of those parts and be clean in your power, how would you use it? A lot of people can't answer that question. They don't know how. And it's a really interesting thought experiment. What would you do in the world if you could read people's minds and you wanted to use that power for good? And even by asking that question, it again taps into all the shadow elements that come up. Because we're afraid of power. We really are afraid, as Marianne Williamson said, of our ultimate goodness. We're afraid of how amazing we could actually be if we put our minds to it, and then we work through these shadowy elements that keep us up at night worrying about trying to be good. So what would it take? What would it actually take for you to use a power like that for good? What is the work you would have to do as a leader, as a potential influencer in the whole world, because you had a power no one else did? Think about that. Maybe journal on it, make some notes, and decide what you're going to do about that now. Because you probably won't wake up tomorrow morning with that power, but one day you will have more power. We're all on that journey. Whatever leadership position you're in, there's always a leadership position higher, or a new company you're going to move to where you're going to get more power and more influence. That is a given if you're a leader and you're ambitious. So why not face that now? Versus when you step into that role and suddenly the challenges start coming at you and you have to deal with it in the moment. Why not address it now? Work through it now. And integrate that power into you now. Because it will serve you on that journey. Versus having to catch up constantly in knowing how to handle the amount of power that you keep getting given as you work your way up in your leadership journey.